Hello students. In this session, we will discuss about working at heights and confined spaces. By the end of this unit, you will be able to know about the risk of working at heights, know about safety precautions while working at heights, know about the risk of working at confined spaces, know about safety precautions while working at confined spaces. Safe working at heights. You have to do many activities at height. Ladders, scaffolds, and platforms are examples of equipment used while working at height. But many more activities exist where you have to work at height with limited protection. These activities may lead to people and objects falling. The reason for this may be insufficient protection while working. Safe working practices at height. Mobile elevated platforms. Set the platform on a plain and solid ground. Use equipment with stabilizers. Trained operators should be at ground level. While working on a platform, don't forget to wear safety harnesses. Fix the platform under safe working limits and keep an eye on the speed of the wind. Scaffold towers. Trained people should put up towers. It is a height to base dimension ratio which is not more than that 3:1 for indoors and 2.5 to 1 for outdoors. For the right height to base ratio, place stabilizers if necessary. For 2.5 meter height or above, deployed outriggers or stabilizers. Firmly locked all the casters before use. The working platform should be provided with ladder access. Do not move when the tower is engaged. Regularly inspect and maintain the tower. Ladders. Ladders are recommended only when work is of short duration. They should be assembled at right angle, fixed and footed. Place the ladder near the work. Adequately support the ladder at the base to avoid hitting on vehicles or pedestrians. Step ladders. Following precautions should be taken when using step ladders. Spread them to full extent and then lock it. Avoid working on the top of the step ladder. Never use the top tread or rear part of the steps for supporting foot. Only one person has to work on a ladder at a time. Appropriate and correct grade ladder should be used. Do's and don'ts of working at height. Do's. Work on the ground level as much as possible. Make sure equipment is sufficiently stable, appropriate and strong for the job. When working on or near delicate areas, take safeguards. Always be prepared for protection from falling objects. Make a strategy for evacuation in case of emergency and rescue procedures. Don'ts. Overload ladders. Overreach on ladders or step ladders. Fix the ladder on weak and uneven surfaces. Use step ladders or ladders for tough or heavy tasks. Ways of using a ladder safely. Safe working at confined spaces. Spaces which are enclosed from all around and the risk of death or serious injury from dangerous conditions and hazardous substances is very high are known as confined spaces. Confined spaces have limited openings. For example, storage tanks, reaction vessels, sewers, silos, enclosed drains, combustion chambers in furnaces, vats, open-topped chambers, ductwork, poorly ventilated rooms. Dangers at confined spaces. Lack of oxygen. Spaces where the reaction between some soil type and oxygen happens in the atmosphere. The reaction of groundwater with limestone produces carbon dioxide. Rust formation inside the vessels and steel tanks. Poisonous gases and fumes. formation of poisonous gases in sewers and manholes, leakage of gases and fumes into trenches and pits in a poisonous area, fire and explosion due to excess oxygen and flammable vapors, filling of liquids and solids inside the space when distributed, hot temperature conditions leading to an increase in body temperature dangerously, residues of fumes and vapors left in the tank, vessels, etc. High concentration of dust, example in floor silos. Safe system of work at confined spaces. The following checklist is important while working in confined spaces. Isolation. Isolate the electrical and mechanical system of equipment need to be operating in space. In any case, ensure the isolation done is effective. Cleaning. Ensure that there is no formation of fumes from residues during the work. Size of entrance. Entrance size is big enough to permit workers to enter in the space with all the necessary equipment required and provide ready exit during an emergency. Provision of ventilation. Ensure proper mechanical ventilation for an adequate supply of fresh air in the confined space. It is essential where portable gas cylinders and diesel fuel equipments are used. Provision of special tools and lighting. Use non-sparking tools and protected lighting systems to avoid flammable and explosive atmosphere. In confined space like inside metal tanks, appropriate precautions are required for safety from electric shock. Provision of breathing apparatus. Availability of breathing apparatus if the air inside the space is not adequate and suitable for breathing because of poisonous fumes, gases or vapors in the space and lack of oxygen. Preparation of emergency arrangements. Proper emergency arrangements which cover the necessary equipment and practice drills. Provision of rescue harnesses. Availability of safety harnesses at the point outside the confined space. Emergency procedure. When situations are not favorable, there can be a chance of severe and immediate danger. Effective arrangements like alarm system and rescue operations during the emergency are essential. The session ends here. Let us have a quick recap before we proceed to the next topic. After studying this unit, the participants will be able to identify the risk of working at height and confined space, demonstrate safety measures for working at confined space,